Mike Steele, here in Moorfield. Firstly, why did you come to Harlow?
Well, mainly to be where my son was working because of my health problems. I was recovering from having a triple heart bypass. So we decided I had to move out of Cheshunt because I was living in a bedsit, and Tom, unfortunately, left his girl. He was in this bedsit with me, so we had to decide. So we moved over to here into this flat.
So that's just, how many years ago? A few years ago?
That was 5 years ago,
Okay.
2012. That's when we moved into here. So this is a one bedroom. So Tom had the bedroom, he didn't want it. So, and I had the bed in here. But now, 5 years on, I mean, 14 years Tom had been with me because I left his 14 years ago. But that was all right when Tom was a young kid. Now he's a grown man. He was too, banging all the time with, their world and my world was so far apart. Old school to him meant an old school building, not you do a deal with an handshake. That's what I was trying to get across. And people, does anybody know what old school means? They're going, I was at old records and all that. I said no.
So mentioning old school, and we've just interviewed you about the community and cleaning up. So your background, where are you originally from then?
I was born in the old Shoreditch, which is now part of Hackney, in just off of Hackney Road, by Agerson Park, Worcester Road, by the Regent's Canal. I mean, all my younger years I spent fishing in the canal. Then we moved from there, and when my mum went to the council, she said we need a bigger place. They give her 5 options. 5. You can't get one there. So we moved to up by Victoria Park, by the canal, and I carried on fishing the same canal. And then I got married and moved out to Walthamstow, bought an house, and my other 2 brothers live on the Isle of Wight now.
And where you were brought up, did you really feel that community was very strong? And if so, why?
Where I was born in the old Shoreditch, there was new buildings they were built after the war. So everybody in there were young couples having kids, and we all lived the same. We all went to the same schools. As we grew up, we all went to the same, played with the same football teams and went to the same places, went to the same pubs. We all went to each other's weddings. It was massive. Everybody knew each other, and we used to go down a Broadway market before the supermarkets became big. Everything used to be off the stalls, fresh every day. Your food was fresh every day. There was no the food what we have today, and I believe that's why so many people from my dad and my granddad's era, they lasted to their 90s. I've got 4 or 5 uncles and aunts are still alive in their 90s. But people born after the 60s, which I always call it the toxic world, have been born in the 60s and they're dying now. But life down the Broadway market, we could spend the day down there, the kids. We used to run around and help the stallholders, getting their jugs of tea from the calf. And everybody knew each other. And when you used to walk down there, you could smell the fruit, the veg, the beetroots, especially in the winter time when it was like wet. But if you go into a supermarket today and walk past all the veg and all that, there's no smell at all. The apples and the pears are rock hard. I wrote to Tesco's about it, and they said you're dead right. She said the food, because we have to need so much stock, they grow it, and just before it ripens, they pick it and put it in the great big warehouses, and it's sprayed so it don't ripen. And that's, he said, but you was dead right.
So where was your first job?
My first job, I left school at 15. I got a job down in Smithfield Meat Market as an apprentice butcher in a big sort of factory sort of butcher where we used to supply all the big hotels, calves, airlines. We used to export the meat and all the phones and stuff that to Bahrain and all them places. And over the period of 10 years I became a master butcher. I went to college down there, They taught us every single thing about meat, from when it's born and all that, how to cook it, what's in it, because a lot of the meat today's got hormones in it, it's got antibiotics in it, it's got pesticides in it. And people say, I can get pesticides. I say, well, a cow eats grass and the grass has got pesticides on it. But people just don't understand what is in the food today. That's why every day now I go up the thing, and I always try to buy the fresh stuff where I can, understand what I mean? And it does me fine.
So you feel that, that sense of community, even down here in Harlow, you feel that that's gone, haven't you? But you do try. You are trying.
When I first come here, because we didn't know anybody and that sort of thing. But what we've been doing here, we just help people. Whatever. If somebody wants some stuff sort of run upstairs, I'll take it upstairs for an old lady. And it's just sort of grown a bit with a few people next door, a few people in there. And when we're outside, me and my mate next door, they'll come out and sometimes we have like 6, 7, 8 of us all chatting away, all sitting on the wall about the good old days. But you can't, which is understandable, you can't talk to young people about the good old days. They don't want to know. And I say to them, you don't know what having it hard means. I'm talking serious, having it hard. My father used to work, he worked hard all his life, and we used to have bread and jam on a Sunday for dinner. People can't believe that. They go, we'll go down to Big Mac's or something. I said, you don't talk, that weren't there. We didn't have iPads, we didn't have trainers, some of us didn't have shoes. If you looked at the old pictures of the old school photos, 1930s and all that, 40s, 50s, kids ain't got no socks on. They've got odd socks, they've got one shoe. That's how life was. It weren't this today attitude towards life.
Well, you're a big solid man.
Yeah.
You're a man not to be trifled with.
I've never had a fight in my life, but it's true, I've never needed to do because of my size. But I did. My younger brother, Peter, now, if you was to see us, you wouldn't think that we were brothers, but we were. Everybody tried to pick on him, which was a big mistake. And he used to be like, I don't know, we used to go out, play football. Nobody would trifle with anybody because you had little Peter to look after you. And I'm the big one. I didn't never like fighting. It was not ever, I'd rather just walk away and be a coward. That's how it was, you know what I mean?
But just go back to the community thing. You think that, and we're sort of wandering into the area in which we filmed you earlier, you feel that people just need to, ignore councils or counsellors. People need to maybe get back to that spirit of just dealing with it yourself and getting on with stuff.
People should be, when I go shopping, I only go up to Lidl's up the road there, and it's always the few old people there, and I say to them, it's not like the good old days. And you start chatting, and they start telling you where they come from, what they used to eat. I said, we used to eat all that pig trotters and all that, you know what I mean? And then they seem sad that they've got to go. They put this shop and they say, I might see you in again sometime, because you reminded them of their good days. Today, to old people, is a nightmare. And there was one thing, when I was in hospital about 2 years ago, and it was something, I was in there for my gallbladder, and because it was something what come and went, so I was okay with a few days, and I was helping the nurses feed the patients, and there was one patient sort of over there, never said a word. His son used to come and sit there, never said a word. And when his son went, one day the nurse put his dinner on his thing, but he couldn't get to it. So I went over, I said, do you want your thing? So I sat him up, and I said to him, what was you in the war? And he started talking. You got to get into what they remember, which is stored. They can't remember what happened yesterday. That part's gone. And we were talking for hours about he used to be a bomber over Germany and all that sort of thing. And when his son came in, he said to me, talk to my dad. I said, I've been talking to him for hours. Talk to him about the war, he'd say, talk to you all day. Talk to him about when he was a kid and that sort of thing. But people who try to help old people with dementia, They say, well, he don't say much and all that. I said, just talk to him about his early life. That's there. You're talking about things he don't know from yesterday. And that's how, when people say, when you get older, you go back to you start thinking about your early days. Why? Because that's all you remember.
Mike Steele, thank you very much for your time.